What's up, everyone? This is the Raw Truth coming at you with another video. And this video, a lot of times I can't come up with the title, but I give the message and stuff. So I don't know how to come up with this title like I did the last video when I was talking about the black man's love for him being incarcerated. And this is one of the videos that I can't really come up with a title with, but it's going to be something that's dealing with that. And one thing that came to my mind, is the church situation. You see on videos on YouTube about the black church failing. And the black church is a failure. And it is a failure. And there's a big ingredient of the reason why the black church is a failure that I think that need to be exposed even more. I expose a little bit of it in some of my recent videos. As you check it out, something might jar your memory if you go in order. Sometimes people don't go in order, so I'm going to have to put that out there, But, want to talk about today black women's love for ballers produce all these churches. Uh-oh. First of all, you have to understand what I'm the raw truth. And I don't sugarcoat nothing. I'm not going to water it down. I'm going to dive right into the problem and start coming hard, as I like to call it, raining the Armageddon of truth. Because the reason why I want to talk about the black woman's love for baller produce all these churches, it all started when I was a teenager. When I was a teenager, like 13, 14 years old, I was around a bunch of people called at that time the old head, the old school before me. And it was during that time when people was telling me, that when the pimps, when a white man was coming down on the pimps, that they packed up and became preachers. Now, it's kind of funny though because these are the same people who also said back in the days they didn't do all that. So, like I said before, when old school get a little, little wine in them, they'll call it the true syrup, some beer stuff. They'll be able to let you know what really happened back in the days. But this was coming when they were, having their drink on. You know what I'm saying? And so it stayed in my mind for a minute, for a long minute. And I began to like saying, well, shoot, if the pimps left and became preachers, then who the hell is that in these churches? So what I wanted to do is I wanted to find out, what is it about this pastor that may make him a pimp, and his effect on the congregation, especially women. And we know women, I'm talking about the black women. Is there in the white churches? I'm pretty sure that there is. But I like to deal with my community first because, as I said, before I chastise any other nation, I want to make sure my nation is in order. And there's so much work in my nation that I can't really talk about other people's nation unless the other people think that they could talk about my nation. Then that's when I'm going to talk about their nation, because in order to counterattack that, I have to know their nation and what their culture is all about. That's what makes me dangerous. But I want to remain on topic here. And so, as I began to do my own research, I figured out that it is true. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go out on a limb and say 99% of preachers that are in these churches are pimps. And, you may look at me and say, well, why would you make that statement? Because it makes sense. It makes sense. I mean, think about it. I'm going to do just a small series before I get this movie maker together to learn how to change scenes and stuff, because right now I'm just operating on just putting a meme up there, let you look at the meme, and as I turn the mic on, I just rock on freestyle and stuff like that. I got to get my movie maker together. Then I'm going to go in deep with this, and one of the things in the future, one of the videos in the future that I'm going to post up is, do the black woman love God? Because I'm finding out, I'm 40 years old and I've been doing this research for over 20 plus years. I've been finding out that black women in these churches really don't love God at all. What they love is the man. They love the man that's teaching, but they don't love God at all because the man that's teaching is a pimp. That's her God. Why is it her God? Because it makes sense. Let's go on a journey. I love this. When you go on a journey, you start to explore some things of what that from the past that you've seen, whether it's a testimony or whether it's a situation that may happen. You could be able to link that to also see why you see things the way you do today. So in order to see things the way that you do today, you have to follow the process, and the process starts on your journey up here. I remember I testified plenty of time, about myself. That I come from a background where I was in church before. I so-called got saved in church. You know what I'm saying? The whole spill and everything like that. And one thing that I said in my previous videos is that, in these churches, it seemed like to me that these women, they get the prophecies that are so good when it comes to God. For some reason, it doesn't matter how much a black woman can mess up her house, mess up her body, mess up her community, mess up anything. That God was always there to say, I love you, that everything is going to be okay. And it bothered me so much because I didn't hear that whenever a man messes up, he got chastised and he got ridiculed and he got shamed. Oh, you did this? Well, you're a whoremonger, and God said that you're going to be put to death if you keep it up. You're supposed to be this man that stand up, and I'm like thinking, dang. So it reinforced that that pastor who is prophesying is not prophesying in God's name. He's prophesying under the pimp spirit, because he's a pimp. He want to make sure that everything is all right with the woman, but not the man, because according to these pastors, they want to be the top Ashkelon. You know what I'm saying? They want to be the top elite, and they want to stop every single man that's a threat to putting things in order because they love the order that it is. Majority of the criminals. I did a video not too long ago with the black man's love for him being incarcerated, but it's kind of funny though, because when you look at our people, and I'm talking about blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indian, what do they call themselves? They either call themselves Christian, Muslims. You know what I'm saying? Christianity and Muslims. They're Christians, they're Muslims, but yet they're in prison. There's something wrong with that. Don't you understand? Don't you understand? In the churches themselves, they have the same divorce rate as the world. Now check that out. They have the same divorce rate as the world. They have the same problem as the world. So if they're having the same stats or the same statistics as the world, then by default you cannot say these churches is of God. None of them are. Because we got pimps. We got pimps in the pulpit who sit up there and lie to everybody. Pimping them up. The best way to get to a black woman's heart is to lie to her. That's what these pastors are. They have learned the art of lying and being a cunning speaker, and that's how they get a whole bunch of women behind them. And women will pay them to lie. Yes, we'll pay them to lie. That ain't what my pastor said. Well, who cares what your pastor say? What did God say? And when you go through the scriptures with black women, what do black women do? Black women get angry at you when you interpret the scripture the right way, because see, the Bible is against what black woman is doing anyway. The Bible says that a woman cannot usurp authority over men. So black women, you're going to have to come out of being that human resource management position. You're going to have to come out of being over top of a man. You're going to have to come out of your management position. You see black women doing that? No, because the system that's wicked give them that, and pastors support it because they part of the system. You know what I'm saying? And I'm saying black women's love for ballers produce these churches because these black women knows what's going on. These black women knows what's going on, and everybody, these pastors are so much of a pulpit scammers and schemers and den of thieves and vipers. They even took the Bible and lied to everyone. They said the tithes is money, when according to scriptures, tithes was never money, and they're talking that felonious, false doctrine of devils, which is called money seed. Oh, you sow a seed, you sow money, and God's going to reap you back a harvest, and that has nothing to do with money seed. That has everything doing with retaining of the word. See, here's these pulpit pastors, these pulpit pimp pastors sitting up there lying to people about the tithes, lying to people about the money, saying it's about the seeds, talking about his money seeds, and they're getting filthy rich. And you know what's the sad part about it is, when men like me exposes these pastors, you black women are the main ones coming at us. You know why? Because our pastors is not telling you black women to keep your damn legs closed. No, he invites you to keep your legs open. Why? That's future tithes payers coming in. Your bastard children are future tithes payers coming in. Oh yes, the people that's working in the mortuary and the morgue and stuff like that, they really don't give a damn about you because they're gonna get money anyway. But I want to stay on these pastors too because these pastors are nothing but liars, nothing but cheats, con artists, and scammers. That's who they are. And they set up to tell the black woman, whatever you do, God got you covered. Except for if you're a man. How is it? How is it? Any pastor or anybody in the church that's listening, how is it? Somebody need to tell me, how is it that a black woman can sit up there, have four children by three baby daddy, but yet God is not angry at that? Hmm? Can anybody answer that for me? Can anybody? I want somebody to tell me. Well, you can't look me in my face. I want you to look me in my face by commenting. Can anybody ever answer this question? How is it that a woman can have four children by three baby daddies and God is okay with that? How is it that a woman could sit up there and sleep with a guy just for his money and God is okay with that? How is it that a black woman can sit up there, beat her children, and abuse her children badly, but God is okay with that? And let me remind you, according to FBI records and FBI files, you can look it up. Black women lead in child abuse, but black women claim to be loving of God. Black women claim to be Christians, but they lead in child abuse. Can somebody please answer these questions? I know these questions are very, very hard because the second you start answering it, you're going to convict that pastor. And that pastor's supposed to be, these pastors are supposed to be leaders over the congregation, and all this crap is happening in my community? Are you serious? What is the pastor's not doing? He ain't telling the black woman to cover up. You know why? Because that's how majority of these pastors got their wives. That's how majority of these pastors got their wives. Oh yes, black women's love for these ballers produce these churches, and every single church is no good at all. They all are no good. They only church for profits as a profit. They're not church of prophets as a prophet. They're not at all. These churches are stupid. They're garbage, and they all need to be destroyed and wiped off of the face of our community because they have done damage in our community. They have not looked after our community, and here's how they cover it up. Here's their band-aid. Oh, we want to make Thanksgiving meal. Thanksgiving? You want to make a turkey meal and that's supposed to cover all your failures that you have failed in the communities, pastors? Oh, there's going to be a part two of this. I have to have a part two of this because if I don't have a part two of this, I'm going to do some injustice. More and more things is coming my way, coming into me. But because it's time constraint, 15 minutes, per slot, I'm going to have to make this a two-part series. A two-part series. So stay tuned for part two because part two, I got more questions and I got more commentary. The reason why I believe that the black woman's love for ballers produced all these churches and stuff, because I want to go in detail in the depths of the fruits of the church. You know what I'm saying? The fruits that's supposed to be coming from the church isn't coming. So get prepared for part two. And I'm the raw truth. Send your email, hate mail, whatsoever. But part two is on its way. Peace out, everyone.